David, who is your garbage person of the week?
Wow, I'm still trying to recover from the music. Okay, so I've got my garbage can here, and I actually want to make this kind of like a show and tell and tell people sort of what's in my garbage. First, I have like the peanut butter wrapper thing from the peanut butter snack that I had. I have an N95 mask that somehow is a little bit brown. I'm not sure how that happened. I've got a makeup wipe. I guess I threw that away. And I've got some scripts. And what do you know? My garbage person of the week, there he is, Tucker Carlson! Hooray for Tucker! My former MSNBC colleague. Now, here's to set it up. A couple of weeks ago, Tucker Carlson was talking about the Russian war in Ukraine, and he said, Russia's not losing the war in Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is winning. Well, at that very moment, there was something of a sort of standstill. But there was every indication that the Ukrainians were about to launch a counteroffensive. And they did. And over the past week, that counteroffensive is one of the most successful and largest since World War II. They've recaptured like 2,000 square miles of territory. They're back on the Russian border. The Russians are exiting en masse. They're throwing away their weapons. They're running away. So what does Tucker Carlson do? Does he acknowledge, okay, maybe the debate over Ukraine has changed. Maybe the United States should help the Ukrainians because they're on the cusp of victory? Dead silence from Tucker. No acknowledgement that he's wrong. No going back to the topic. No suggesting that, oh, maybe Vladimir Putin is losing after all. And for that, given the audience that Tucker Carlson has, given the utter disregard he has for facts on the ground and wanting to view everything through this bubble that he lives in, Tucker Carlson is my garbage person of the week.
So I love two things. One, I love your choice and the reason for the choice. Tucker Carlson is right up there at the top, potentially the top of the list for most common garbage person of the week. This is a very good reason. Also, man, you killed that segment. You gave us a garbage review. You put a little tag at the end. David is a professional. Look it up in the book.
Well, I will just say, I think, look, Tucker Carlson should feel grateful that I'm comparing him to the garbage Bomba wrapper that I have in my garbage. I mean, I would argue, some people might argue that this is diminishing to the Bomba snack that I eat, that Tucker should be compared to something worse. But anyway.
I love it. I want to try the Bomba thing. In my garbage, I have, let's see, Entenmann's mini cakes, because I miss Entenmann's because I grew up on the East Coast. And let's see, this is a custom-made game aid for a board game. Anyway, I'm a bit of a nerd, but I love your choice of Tucker Carlson because, look, no one who does news commentary can or will be an expert on everything, and you are inevitably going to get things wrong, especially in international news for a lot of people, and especially when it comes to trying to predict the outcome of a military conflict. I admitted after the invasion that I definitely didn't expect it to happen, certainly not when it did. I admitted relatively early on that I didn't expect Ukraine to put up the sort of resistance that they did because the conventional wisdom, what everyone was saying, was that they would fold within a few days. But the thing is, that is not what Tucker Carlson is doing. Tucker Carlson is not doing his best to tell you what's going on and occasionally getting it wrong. He's propagandizing for the people that he wants to defend. And he's not willing to admit when he's wrong, which you definitely should. It is the minimal bar, but at the same time, it's a sign of maturity to be willing to do that. It's a sign of respect for your audience that you will let them know when you are wrong so that they won't continue to be wrong. But he doesn't care about his audience. They don't care enough to actually track his failed predictions. And in a larger sense, I love what's happening there. The actual, hearing that a plane was shot down with hundreds of Russian soldiers is just devastating. I hate to hear that. I don't like what a lot of this means, but I love that these people are successfully defending their country against an absolutely unacceptable invasion. So thank you for putting a spotlight on this, David.
Of course. And just one thing also to clarify. I mean, just, full disclosure, I was office mates with Tucker Carlson 12 years ago, and he and I used to be friends. And I used to have enormous respect for him. And there's some people who say, oh, well, Tucker Carlson has turned into a puppet of Vladimir Putin. And to be clear, I don't think that's it. I don't think Tucker Carlson is a Vladimir Putin puppet. I think Tucker Carlson, though, is so enamored and so embraces the idea that anything that Joe Biden says, anything the Biden administration says must be wrong because Joe Biden must be incompetent. So if the Biden administration says the Ukrainians are doing well, Tucker's going to go out of his way to convince himself, no, the Russians are doing great. And he has these blinders on. And that's not the Tucker Carlson that I knew.
Yeah. I don't think that Tucker Carlson is being paid by him. I don't think he needs to be. He's a multi-millionaire. I don't think that Putin has dirt on him or whatever. I don't think that Tucker Carlson particularly cares what Putin does. But I think he knows that his audience has been trained over the past few years to think that what Putin does is right. And because Trump was tied to this plot with Russia, and that means the Democrats now hate Russia. So I guess I knee-jerk have to be in favor of them. I think it's really as simple as that. I don't think it's particularly substantive.